I ended up having this flip for dang near like a year on the market. And although like I got a check at the end of closing or a wire sent to me, I lost like $20,000 on this deal. Welcome back to another installment of This Week in Real Estate, where I recap my week as a self-managing landlord of 20 plus units and a fix and flip investor. Before we jump in this week, I just want you guys to know it's probably gonna be a little bit longer of an episode or installment. So if you want to watch on YouTube just for like easier viewing of longer content, I'm gonna put a link to the YouTube in the stories of this, in my stories after I post this, and then let me know if you guys would listen to it if I flip this into a just like straight audio podcast as well. So I'm thinking about doing a podcast in the new year, but let me know. Jumping into this week, well, it's really the last 2 weeks because I missed last weekend. But the last 2 weeks, jumping in, the trouble flip that I've been talking about finally closed. So I think it closed not this Friday, but last Friday, and could not be more relieved. I think this is the first flip. I've been doing real estate for like 7, 8 years, going on 8 years, and this is like the longest I've ever had a flip. So I ended up having this flip for dang near like a year on the market. And although like I got a check at the end of closing or a wire sent to me, I lost like $20,000 on this deal. So between the holding cost, the additional like repairs and little add-ons I tried to do to get it to sell, and then like fees for having the money so long because it's a hard money loan, I ended up losing close to $20,000. And when I say that, it's important to know how like profit or net profit is calculated on a deal. So on a deal, you should calculate like the money that you receive at closing minus all the money that you spent. So the money that I got back minus all the money I spent netted out to a loss, but it was like a loss over like 14 months. So just really happy that one is off the plate, and I think I have like a really important lesson learned on that, so won't be making that same mistake twice. On that same note, we sold that one, but on the flip side, we bought the duplex flip that we're gonna be working on. So we closed on that one. Again, I mentioned the last time that the numbers look really great on that one, and we got off to a really good start on the repairs there. It's super cosmetic. So this week we finished our foundation work, we finished our roof, we finished our demo, our drywall patching, and we started painting. So we are rolling along. We anticipate having a full week of work this week, even with like the Thanksgiving holiday. The guys have indicated that they want to work like through the week. So if that's the case, we should be fully painted and maybe even laying floors by the end of the week, which would be amazing. It would almost put us on pace to have it on the market by like mid-December, which would be incredible. So we'll see what happens there. Continuing with flips, so the Pine flip, it was one of the ones that we've been having, not permitting issues, but just going through the permitting process. We got sign off and approval for all of our permits, so we're now able to do like close in our walls. So we added a bathroom, so we're now able to close in those bathroom walls, and we've been kind of holding off doing drywall repairs and stuff throughout the rest of the house, so we could just have the drywall crew come in and just knock out the whole house. So we were able to do that this week, as well as get our kitchen installed. So we've already started our flooring there, so we really will be focusing on paint early next week, and then we'll probably have another week outside. So that one should be done around early the first or second week of December as well. And then our flip one, if you remember way back, if you don't remember, I was calling these flips that I had flip one and flip two. Flip two sold. We're still working on flip one. It was in permitting. We are dang near done with permits. So we were in our electrical permit. We were almost closed, but I don't even know why, because we didn't add a bedroom. But since they saw it, we have to add outlets in a bedroom before we can be fully approved with permits. But we're able to finish all of our drywall work there and start with paint. So just looking at how like everything's shaking out, everything should be ready around like early to mid-December, which means Q1 next year should be really good when we have 3 closings. So those are rolling along, and the flip one and pine are going way slower than I want, but they're moving. Again, I think there's some lessons learned on those that I can apply and kind of take into next year and be okay. On the buy and hold or rental side, we had last week or 2 weeks ago the eviction for this one property I've been talking about. Went through the process, and I was actually in Virginia when we had the sheriff lockout for that property. And the sheriff, I show up and there's like no sheriffs there. So the windows are up, like the blinds are up. So I peek in the windows and it's like, it looks like someone's living there still. Like couch, Christmas tree, TV stands, the whole nine. I'm like, oh, this lady is probably still in here. So the sheriffs never show up. So I end up calling the sheriff's office like, hey, someone's supposed to come do this lockout. And the lady, the sheriff that I had been talking to was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'll be right there. Luckily, it's only like 10 minutes away. The sheriff's office is only 10 minutes away. So they got there and they went in. The tenant had left the door unlocked. So no one was there. It looks like the tenant just like up and left. Like her clothes were there. All 3 rooms, so kids' clothes, hers clothes, couches, all that's there. It looks like they just like walked out. They didn't even lock the door. So when the sheriff knocked, and then they just tried, the door was unlocked. So they just walked in. Luckily, this unit was in such horrible shape that like even if someone did know the door was unlocked, they wouldn't want to go in. Like as the sheriff did their walkthrough and they were walking out, there was 2 sheriffs, a male and a female, and the woman sheriff was like hopping and shaking herself off because it was just filthy and nasty in there. And it was mice. So it wasn't even like bugs, it was mice. And so me thinking like, oh, how bad can it be? Like, I'll just change the locks. And I'm fiddling and twiddling with the locks. And as I'm like at the door, mind you, it's broad daylight, like a mouse just walks across the room. I was like, this is horrible. But I don't even finish changing the locks. Not because it was so bad, just because I'm not handy, or as handy as I thought I was. And so I ended up just calling someone and having them come change the locks. So that is that unit. We got it cleaned out, so all the couches and clothes and stuff, we ended up getting out. And actually, they really messed up my floors because they had a deep freezer in there. And when they left, they obviously got the power turned off, and the deep freezer melted and flooded the kitchen and ruined my floors. But we're gonna replace them. But all the stuff that was in there, the couches, the TV stands, all of that, beds, got it cleaned out. And we used my like favorite method for cleaning out units is we just set it out on the curb. So in the area that I invest in, they do bulk pickup, and on trash day, if you have stuff like furniture, they'll just take it away. So I think the guy that cleaned it out was gonna charge me like $1,000 to bring in a trailer and like haul all that stuff away. So I saved $1,000 just by sitting on the curb and letting my tax dollars go to work. So that was cool. Gotta get that one repaired and back on the market. So that's coming up in the next couple weeks. Also, while I was there, I was able to attend a Section 8 inspection that we had scheduled, and past that inspection, the lady hadn't planned to move in until December 1st. So it was good just to get that inspection out of the way while I was there. And it was actually a property I had bought that I had never seen. So it was cool to actually walk it, see it, and actually know what this tenant will be moving into. But past that inspection, it was actually the first time I passed on the first try, which like never happens. And I think it's because like the city that it's in, like this city is a lot more lenient than like the neighboring city. If it was in the neighboring city, I know I wouldn't have passed, but grateful to have passed. So that move-in will be 12/1. This past week we had a move-in, so got that one all signed up, that person's in. And then this upcoming week we have another move-in. So we're filling these units. At the same time, one just went vacant last week. And luckily for me, this tenant, I don't really think they lived in this unit. Like, I think they moved in and they like left for work and they were gone for like a year. They paid their rent, and they were just like, oh, we're moving. But the unit is like spotless, like literally just gonna put it back on the market and rent it out again. So on the contrary of having just a filthy unit that's infested with mice and leaving all their crap, this unit was totally spotless, and so that was like my blessing for the week. So happy about that. And then, oh, speaking of filthy units, so our filthy tenant, I was terminating her lease. I've terminated her lease, and it was going to be terminated on the 30th. And if you guys remember, when I like told her I was terminating it, she like threatened to sue me, and I was just like, okay, send her my lawyer's information. This week, she texted me just as nice as could be, like, hey, we're moving out, but we need some more time for the new unit to pass inspection. Could you please work with us? Just like as sweet as could be. And I just think it's so funny how like 2 weeks ago you were threatening to sue me. Now it's like, oh, just as sweet as can be. And I always want to just turn up like, oh, nah. Last 2-3 weeks ago, you was talking about suing me. Now you want me to do you a favor? But I'm always expected to be the bigger person. And so I was the bigger person. I was just like, you know, let me just confirm with your caseworker through the housing authority, because she's on Section 8, if like we can make this work. And if it can work out, I'll let you stay. I will say, being the bigger person is very, very tiring, and I'm always expected to be the bigger person. But I guess heavy is the head that wears the crown, right? So, that's that. I think that's the last couple weeks in real estate. If you've made it this far, you've actually watched this far, thank you. I appreciate you listening to all my shenanigans. DM me the word card, and I'm gonna send you a $10 gift certificate or $10 gift card to Starbucks to show my appreciation. But that's this week in real estate.